first guest tonight is a talented actress and producer you know from her work on Gossip.
Under the blinding flash of cameras and the golden glow of Hollywood, few faces are as instantly recognizable or as captivating as Blake Lively. She is the picture of poise, the symbol of effortless beauty, and the embodiment of modern glamour. But what most people don't see is the story behind the smile. Before she became a fashion icon, a red carpet favorite, and one half of Hollywood's most admired power couple, Blake was simply a girl from California, chasing dreams in a city built on illusions. How did she rise above the chaos of fame, the whispers of scandal, and the weight of expectation, to become one of the most admired figures in the industry? Behind the designer gowns and dazzling premieres lies a woman defined not by privilege, but by persistence. This is the untold journey of Blake Lively, the golden girl who dared to control her own spotlight and redefine what it means to shine. Blake Ellender Lively was born on August 25, 1987 in Los Angeles, California, right in the heart of show business. Her parents, Ernie Lively and Elaine Lively, were both actors. Her siblings, all performers in their own right, surrounded her with the pulse of Hollywood from the moment she could walk. But growing up in the city of stars didn't mean living a glamorous life. The Lively household was creative, but chaotic. Auditions, rejections, and constant uncertainty filled the air. Blake once described her childhood as normal, but with a touch of glitter. At Burbank High School, she wasn't the typical Hollywood kid. She was a cheerleader, class president, and a girl with big dreams, but no clear path to fame. Unlike many who trained for years in acting schools, Blake learned by watching her parents work on set. Acting wasn't something she chased. It was something that quietly waited for her. Friends remembered her as radiant, curious, and endlessly optimistic. Even then, she carried a presence, that golden energy that would one day make her unforgettable. She didn't know it yet, but Hollywood was already calling her name. Blake's path to Hollywood wasn't planned. It was almost accidental. At 17, she had no intention of becoming an actress. But when her brother Eric sent her to an audition for a small film, everything changed. That film was The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, 2005. Blake was cast as Bridget, a free-spirited athletic girl with a spark that lit up every scene. Her performance was effortless, warm, genuine, and full of life. Critics praised her natural charisma. Audiences saw something rare, a star who felt real. Overnight, Blake Lively became Hollywood's newest face to watch. She followed with Accepted, 2006, a lighthearted comedy, and Elvis and Annabelle, 2007, a small indie gem that proved she could carry depth beyond beauty. But the true turning point came later that year, when she stepped into the role of Serena van der Woodsen in Gossip Girl. The blonde, mysterious it girl of New York's elite. The role made her a global phenomenon. In a single season, Blake Lively went from the girl next door to the face of a generation. She wasn't just acting anymore. She was defining an era of style, youth, and rebellion. And with that, the golden girl of television had officially arrived. By the time Gossip Girl reached its second season, Blake Lively was no longer just an actress. She was a phenomenon. Her face dominated magazine covers, her outfits dictated fashion trends, and her name became synonymous with sophistication and youth. Serena van der Woodsen wasn't just a character. She was a cultural movement. But Blake refused to be boxed in by television fame. Between filming, she pursued roles that challenged her image. In Ben Affleck's crime drama The Town, 2010, she shocked audiences with her raw, emotional performance as Krista, a struggling single mother trapped in addiction. It was gritty, real, and miles away from the glamour she was known for. Then came Green Lantern, 2011, where she met Ryan Reynolds, a partnership that would later redefine her personal life. Though the film stumbled critically, it opened new doors and new chapters. Blake continued to evolve on screen. In The Age of Adeline, 2015, she played a woman who never ages, timeless, tragic, and luminous. The Shallows, 2016, tested her resilience, a survival thriller shot almost entirely in the ocean. And in A Simple Favor, 2018, she reinvented herself again, as a mysterious, stylish anti-hero. By then, Blake Lively had transcended Hollywood trends. She wasn't chasing fame anymore. She was shaping it. The Golden Girl had become a woman of power, presence, and purpose. With fame came scrutiny. And for Blake Lively, every move, every smile, every photo became public property. As Gossip Girl dominated pop culture, tabloids followed her every step. Her relationships, especially with co-star Penn Badgley, were dissected in headlines. The same magazines that crowned her Hollywood's Golden Girl also searched endlessly for cracks in her perfection. Then came Green Lantern, a film meant to cement her movie star status, but instead it faltered. Critics mocked it. Fans were disappointed. For the first time, Blake faced the sting of failure in full view of the world. Rumors followed, whispers about plastic surgery, diva behavior, even secret rivalries. But Blake never fought back publicly. She didn't rant, didn't explain, didn't feed the fire. In an industry addicted to scandal, her silence was her rebellion. "I don't like to expose the most precious parts of my life," she once said. "Privacy doesn't make me mysterious. It keeps me sane." Behind the red carpets and interviews, she was battling exhaustion, constant judgment, and the fear of being reduced to an image. She wanted to be taken seriously, not as a fashion icon, but as an artist, a woman, a human being. And so, while others chased attention, Blake Lively did something radical. She stepped back, not to disappear, but to reinvent. When the spotlight grew too bright, Blake Lively didn't fade. She refocused. In 2012, she married actor Ryan Reynolds in a private ceremony far from Hollywood's chaos. Together they built not just a marriage, but a sanctuary. Motherhood soon followed, and with it came transformation. Blake found joy in simplicity, in raising her children, in designing her own home, in cooking and creating. She began to see success not in headlines, but in balance. Professionally, she chose projects with purpose. Her performance in The Shallows proved her grit, while A Simple Favor revealed her comedic precision and fearless creativity. Behind the camera, she explored directing and producing, quietly shaping her own narratives. Then came her entrepreneurial leap. Betty Buzz, a clean beverage brand inspired by her family and her values. It wasn't about profit. It was about identity. She was crafting a new kind of legacy, one built on authenticity and empowerment. Blake Lively was no longer playing characters written for her. She was writing her own story, with courage, clarity, and control. Her reinvention wasn't a comeback. It was evolution. A golden girl turned golden woman. Today, Blake Lively stands as more than an actress. She's a symbol of grace, resilience, and quiet power. In an industry that thrives on noise, she built her empire through elegance and authenticity. She's a devoted mother, a creative visionary, and a businesswoman who defines success on her own terms. Her journey reminds us that fame isn't about constant exposure. It's about endurance. That true beauty doesn't come from perfection, but from purpose. From the sisterhood of the traveling pants to Gossip Girl. From heartbreak to happiness. From Hollywood's red carpets to her own home. Blake Lively's evolution is proof that reinvention is not the end of a story. It's the beginning of a greater one. Narrator. Softer. Blake Lively's journey proves that behind every spotlight, the truest glow comes from within. CTA. If her story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories of Hollywood's most fascinating stars.